Hey. Time had an out-of-this-world story from our space. How do we survive infidelity? Is it right to hang on to hope, or is it false hope? What stops us from cutting ties right away when our partners didn't hesitate to cheat in the first place? Let's dissect that today on our space. 8 years together, 6 years married. What to do? Hi everyone. Just recently joined this sub because, unfortunately, I got cheated on. Forgive me for any spelling errors, as Dutch is my first language, so I'm not native in English. I'm a male, 32, married to my wife, 27, for almost 6 years now. We've been together for 8 years and 3 months. We are living together for 7 years now. It was, in my opinion, always great. I really feel like we were the perfect couple. We both have a car, good jobs, stable finances, and we bought a house 5 years ago. February of 2022, I unfortunately, very unexpectedly, lost my mother to a heart attack. What followed were very rough months. For me, but also for my wife, who was also very close to my mother. And by rough, I mean really rough. In 6 months' time, we only went out like 2 times. We always stayed in just relaxing on the couch and chilling, watching TV. I wasn't, due to circumstances, happy, but I expected we would get to this. D-Day, as I see everyone call it, was 5 weeks ago. My wife went out drinking with 3 male friends from work, about 5 minutes away from her house. I was like, okay, cool, but I'm going to bed soon. Middle of the night, 30 minutes past midnight, she came home with the 3 guys, I know all of them, and said she was going out in the city with them. I didn't like it, but couldn't stop her. Everything closes at 4, but even though it's a 15-minute ride, she came home at 5:30. That's when my suspicions began. Even though before this night, I never mistrusted her. Today, 4 weeks ago, she left the entire Sunday. Said she was going to some carnival with her mom. I did not trust it, but what can you do? She even left without saying goodbye. While I was taking a shower, later that day when she came home, she entered our house crying. My first response was, "Honey, come here, what happened? It's only happened. What's got you so upset?" Her literal first words at that moment were, "I want a divorce." After that, we talked a bit about it, both very emotional. I should have asked her if she cheated, but she said no. She told me she's been unhappier for a longer period of time and hence the divorce. She literally never told me something was wrong with our relationship. So this came as a complete shock to me. Anyway, after the talk, she left and she lives at her mom's house now. 4 days later, I saw her again because we had a dog for which I alone cannot take care of, and neither can she at her mom's house. So our dog stays at an aunt's house now. Anyway, because I saw her, I confronted her about cheating again. And this time, she admitted it. She told me she cheated on me for the entire week since she went drinking until the week later when she left home. She said she thinks she is in love with him. I asked what's so great about him, and the only thing she says is, "Yeah, we have a good connection, spark." So that's it, I suppose. She also said she feels like she's going through some sort of midlife crisis. Doesn't know what to do with her life, doesn't know what she wants. In my opinion, she's going crazy. She dyed, don't know if this is the correct word, sorry, her hair purple. And all out of nowhere, she signed up for lessons to drive a motorcycle. The first week or maybe 2 weeks after I tried reconciling, if that's the right word, but she wouldn't budge. Every serious message I sent her gets straight up ignored. Casual messages I do get a reply on, but it's short responses with a certain, arrogance, I guess. I seriously do not recognize my wife anymore. Her personality seems to have changed in literally 1 week time. She is treating me as if I never existed in her life, and like I'm some piece of garbage. Is this some kind of defense mechanism to make it easier for her, pushing her problems towards the future? Or could it be she really changed and feels this way now? How on earth is this possible? I mean, I know falling in love is an awesome feeling, but what happens with her in a few months when the honeymoon phase with this guy is over and she really wakes up from it all? I've been experiencing a lot of mixed feelings, really a lot. I resent her for the fact she cheated on me, and I'm really, really disappointed. But I also realize and know that the fundament basis of our marriage was always great. From D-Day to today, we are 5 weeks further. She is still not officially filed for divorce, and neither have I. I'm not sure, but I'm fairly certain she is still seeing the guy she cheated on me with. To be honest, at this moment, I'm torn between wanting to save our marriage and just ending. At this moment, I honestly do not care if we get back together or if we divorce. So I honestly don't know what to do. If I file for divorce now, I might regret this in the future for being too fast, I suppose. But I also cannot keep living in this sort of limbo in which I'm officially still married, but she already left. Let's listen to some advice from the community. Sin0289 says, You really should start the filing yesterday. Make sure you separate your finances and start talking with the lawyer. If you're wanting to save this, which I hope you don't, this will most likely be the wake-up call. Right now she thinks she can walk all over you while you just sit there waiting. Really shows her lack of respect. Also, to be honest, this making me wonder if there is an underlying mental issue and if she may be manic, but still not excusable. Find your backbone, OP, and stop letting her do this to you. I feel like maybe she could have been done with this relationship a long time ago, and that's why she's moving on so quickly. There could also be some type of mental health issue going on, given the change in her appearance and the desire to take up motorcycle lessons. Honestly, file for divorce. Stop waiting in limbo. Why wait? Waiting for her to come back? So then what? Why would you want to be with someone who treated you like that? Update. Okay, so yesterday I made some calls. In the Netherlands, we have something called a mediator. They handle all aspects of divorce. So this mediator does the lawyer's work, financial, emotional talk, etc. It's like an all-in-one kind of person that helps two people with arranging the divorce. Today we had the talk with this mediator. Unfortunately, my soon-to-be ex, her car broke down, so I had to pick her up. And yes, I really had to. For this all to work and get the divorce through this mediator, it is crucial that both me and my soon-to-be ex are at the meetings with him. Anyway, talk went pretty good, and the way I expected. We both expressed our feelings about wanting to get divorced, but the infidelity was never mentioned. This mediator is neutral and does not pick a side, so I did not think it was worth mentioning. Also, in the Netherlands, we have no laws against cheating. She still has the same rights that she would have if she did not cheat. So after the mediator left, we are still together at the table, barely talking. Only distraction we have is from our cats running around. So, after a few minutes, I asked her, "Have anything left to say?" To which her response was, "No." So I said, "Okay then, I think you can go now, because I don't want you here." "Okay, can you take me home?" I said, "No. Your getting home is your own problem. I'm not in the mood to drive 30 minutes taking you home." After this, she looked a bit emotional. I think she expected me to drive her home, as normally in the past I did everything for her. So, after that, she called her mom, who's picking her up in about an hour from now. "She's out of the house now," she said. "I'm going to take a walk for about an hour until my mom gets here to pick me up." While she left, she still looked hurt and visibly emotional. But, well, I'm staying strong. I still noticed a lot of strange behavior on her part, and I think she is still in the affair fog. Despite everything, I still love her for who she was. But for now, I'm staying strong and I'm treating her as if she means nothing to me. Edit. Actually, as of right now, she doesn't mean anything to me. She simply is not the woman anymore that I loved and was loyal to. Anyway, for now, that was the update. I'll keep you posted in the future. And once again, everyone for the massive response and help on my previous post. The community responds. Mysterious Maxim 488 says, "I had to laugh at her reaction. What did she expect? Why didn't she call her affair partner?" The Ogie replies, "I have absolutely no idea. I asked, can't a affair partner come pick you up at the neighborhood? Not at my house, because he works 5 minutes away from here. But she said, no, he is not working today. That's all I know." Of course her car broke down, and of course she wanted you to take her home. Just a manipulation tactic and a way for her to have control over you still. She gets off on that. They try to dig those claws in you. As soon as you stop giving cheaters the attention they want, they become desperate for it. Don't give in. Update 2. Hey everyone, you'll have been an amazing help in my situation. I must admit I'm feeling very tired mentally, but apart from that, I'm doing better than I would have expected after only 6 weeks. I have a question about my soon-to-be ex-wife, her current behavior. For the question, you don't need the whole story, but feel free to read my previous posts. For those unaware of my situation, long story short, my wife cheated. She left me and we are getting divorced. This was 6 weeks ago. She claims to be very much in love with her affair partner, and he is in love with her. I strongly believe she is in affair fog. Okay, now my actual question. Is it normal that my wife, soon-to-be ex, treats everyone around her like trash? Well, except for her affair partner and her own parents, I suppose. She is obviously treating me bad. She's treating me with zero respect and as if I was the worst husband ever. She claims she's been unhappy for several years, which I believe is complete BS. Anyway, to be honest, I don't care about what she's doing to me anymore. It's her life she's destroying, not mine. But it's also affecting other people. My father sends her the sweetest message he had ever sent in his entire life, and she didn't even reply with a thank you. Just nothing. After my mom passed last February, my wife would regularly take my dad to an amusement park that's close by. They both have subscriptions for it, so they could go quite often. But Dad really loved her a lot, and I'm watching him age by the hour now, which really hurts me. And my soon-to-be ex-wife doesn't even send a thank you. Nothing at all. She left him unread. She was also, and she said she wanted to remain, Very good friends with my younger sister, but they haven't been in touch for several weeks. Also, my wife was supposed to spend a day today with her best friend who is a mutual friend of ours, but now she's ignoring her. Her best friend sends several messages to her yesterday if today was still on, but wife sends no reply. It even read her messages. She also didn't pick up the phone. So today, they were supposed to meet. Same story. She doesn't pick up the phone. Her BFF sends one more message asking if she was still coming. No reply. She didn't even read the messages. While her WhatsApp status shows she's been online after she sends them. Needless to say, her BFF has been crying all day. She took the day off to spend with my wife to go shopping and have fun, and now this. Is this in any way normal behavior for someone in an affair phone, or could this be something else? I don't care what my wife is doing, I'm done with her, but this is just so incredibly sad for her BFF. She's been crying on her couch all freaking day because my wife treats you like this. While I'm typing all this, another question comes to mind, but I think I already know the answer. The soon-to-be ex-wife is going around telling people we split up because we grew apart, and she hasn't been happy for several years. I suppose this actually is normal for a cheater, to tell everyone excuses and not being honest about what happened and how they fell in love with someone else. Oh, I almost forgot something that I believe is really important. Her BFF, our mutual friend, actually lived with us for about 6 months, from about November of 2021 until April 2022. She just got off of a really bad relationship and had nowhere to stay. We have a spare room, so we took her in. Anyway, my wife and BFF literally talk about everything, including our relationship and sex life. Everything. I speak to her BFF every day, and she's been super sweet and totally honest with me. I asked her if any of what my wife said could be true, about not being happy with me for a longer period of time. BFF says it's all lies. Never has my wife ever spoken about it or said a single word to her about being unhappy with me. And keep in mind, they told each other everything, but not a single word about being unhappy. So either my soon-to-be ex-wife is just blatantly lying now, I don't know why, maybe to justify her cheating on me and abandoning our marriage, or perhaps she kept her unhappy feelings a secret for literally everyone except herself. I honestly don't know, but from my experience, I never noticed her unhappy with me, and BFF also agrees with this. Many thanks again to everyone. The support is amazing, and I would not have been where I am now if it wasn't for your support. Let's check in with that supportful community. Low Profession 9366 says, OP, your wayward wife is in an affair fond of sorts. She's currently lying to herself so she doesn't have to face the gravity of what she's done. She cannot be with anyone who could call her out on her deceit. She is refusing to face it, to answer for it. Because if she did, she'd soon realize how horrid her choices are. She'd have to reconcile her faulty memory story with reality. Cheaters lie, but the one person they lie to the most is themselves. They have to justify being defensible. Regular Bat 4449 says, she needs to justify her actions to herself, so she makes you and her friends the bad guy to make herself feel better. She's probably miserable and can't face it. The OP replies, well, to be honest, I saw her last Tuesday because we had to talk about the divorce. She hasn't been sleeping well since she left 5 weeks ago. She just looked quite bad, actually, and really tired and not happy at all. I suppose when she's around an affair partner, it's only happiness. I think she's ignoring everyone because it's a way to ignore responsibility and taking ownership of her actions. She's living in denial. She's probably thinking if she ignores them long enough, they'll go away, and it'll be the death of her old life. AKA, she can pretend to live in his fantasy world with this affair partner and her purple hair. The lying has to do with that too. She said you grew apart because she can't look like the bad guy. She has to look like the one that got out on top. Final update. For full story, please read my post history if you're interested. Small summary. Wife is 6 years, 8 years together, cheated on me 5 months ago. Told me she wanted a divorce because she wasn't happy with me and basically left me to be with the affair partner. We are going to sign our divorce papers and make it official 4 days from today. This is going to be a long post as I haven't updated for about 4 months. Well, I made some mistakes along the run and also made some moves that got me my power back and made me respect myself again. For starters, I can say that now, 5 months after the infidelity and the initial shock, I hardly even think about the cheating anymore or am affected by it. So for anyone going through a rough time, please trust me, it does get better and time really is on your side. So, after the cheating and her breakup, I made mistakes. I begged and pleaded, got mad, frustrated, and really felt totally out of control as if she had lost her mind. This lasted for about 2 months, unfortunately. After this period, I made the decision to quit whining. I told her I thought about everything a lot and came to the conclusion that I would still be open to seeing her and talking to her, that I thought there might still be a future for us, but I also told her I couldn't guarantee anything. I have not contacted her myself for the last 3 months, at least not about casual stuff of the relationship. The only things I reached out about were things regarding our upcoming divorce financial mutual house. I did not just sit around and wait during the last 3 months. I am now 32 years old, and for the first time in my life, I went to the gym to work out. Muscle building to be exact, as I have always been on the skinny side. I have been hitting the gym with full discipline. I train 4 times a week and have been doing so for the last 3 months. I'm also seeing an increase in my muscle and aesthetics, but this goes further. Not only does the gym better my physical appearance, it also helps me mentally. At first, I started working out to keep myself busy and distracted, but now, 3 months in, I look better and I feel a lot better about myself. I am regaining a level of confidence I didn't even know I had. So pro tip of the day, when you're going through a rough time, the gym really does seem to work both physically and mentally. Regarding our mutual house, I spoke with the bank, and I'm able to lend extra money and to take on a higher mortgage. I have to pay my ex-wife about $65K for the house, but I'm able to, and I will do it. After signing everything and paying her, I will be 100% the owner of the mutual house, which is worth about $300,000. I'm not too happy about having to pay her $65K, but in the long run, I am way better off by owning my own house, which is worth about 5 times that amount. On top of that, she has no ownership in my house anymore. She officially lives with her mom again, but I know she's also staying in a fair partner's house a lot. I'm not contacting her, so how do I know? I'll get to that. My ex and me have a mutual friend. We never hang out all together, but we do speak regularly. As far as I know, ex left me to be with the fair partner. It basically jumped straight into a new rebound relationship. I'm not sure what's going on with my ex, and at times, it does seem she actually has lost her mind. I try to keep my mind away from her, but sometimes the mind wanders where it shouldn't go. Also, at this moment, I suppose I could call a fair partner by the name boyfriend, because that's basically what he is now. However, I will stick to a fair partner because that's how it started. Anyway, about a fair partner and ex-wife. Karma is a witch, and it's starting to hit hard. When ex and a fair partner first got together 5 months ago, all seemed fine for them. However, tables are beginning to turn. A fair partner is currently at home struggling with a depression, which I know for a fact because the mutual friend showed me screenshots of a conversation between an ex-wife and her. Also, the fair partner is currently out of a job. Even when everything first happened with the cheating and all, I always felt better than a fair partner just because of his lack of morals, and I already had the belief he was worthless compared to me. Well, now I know for sure. Which, once again, makes me feel like my ex-wife has lost her mind. I'm not being arrogant, but I'm absolutely sure that I am the catch and a way better man than her fair partner is. Little extra. At the start of their relationship, I was still contacting her and warned her. Well, I guess I was right all along. Not only does he prove himself to be the loser I already kinda knew he was, he also brought something into her life that can devastate her. She's basically digging her own grave. The fair partner introduced her to hard drugs. I know this through the mutual friend. Haven't talked to ex-wife about it. If she wants to ruin her own life, that's her business. But it seems to be going downhill fast. As for my ex-wife, I am certain she is struggling and possibly even doubting her own choices. I hadn't spoken to her or seen her during the holidays, Christmas and New Year's. However, about 1 week into the new year, 2023, she out of the blue texted me if I was home and if she could come over. She came over to my house and the visit was short, really only about 5 minutes. She came by to tell me she spent Christmas Day alone, saw me. She wanted to know how my holidays had been and she asked how I was doing. I told her my Christmas is okay, but not the greatest. I lost my mom last year and these were the first holidays without my mom. So of course it was just okay, but not all that great. I did tell her I was doing great, which I actually am. So yeah, for me, this was weird. The only thing I can think about this whole visit, and why would she care about how I'm doing, is that she perhaps does have regrets. Time will tell. I also spoke to my ex's mom. Ex-mother-in-law called me after New Year's to wish me a Happy New Year and wish me all the best. I must admit I did not expect that call, but it was nice to hear from her because she was family for the last 8 years. Mother-in-law told my ex-wife hasn't been all that great lately. Apparently, she is very sad and crying a lot, mourning the marriage. Ex even said to mother-in-law, I wish it wouldn't have been like this. And once again, this implies to me that she is having second thoughts. However, only my ex has the power to reach out and make a move, which at this point, I don't see happening anymore. The only power I really have is to give her the divorce she herself asked for and walk away and stay out of her life, which I did. I'm removing myself from her life, getting her the divorce, and bettering myself every single day. Apologies for the long post, but I believe this is about everything I needed to get off my chest. 4 days from now, we are signing the divorce papers, and even though I'm really doing great, of course I'm still only human and from time to time still mourn our marriage and my ex-wife. I hate to see what has become of her, but I'm also fully aware that it is out of my control and absolutely not my problem. Let me end this by once again thanking everyone in the community. Many thanks. Without your help, I wouldn't have been where I am now, both mental and physical. Let's see what the community has to say about it. Diligent permission tree. If she tries to come crawling back, it would be strongly advised not to even entertain the possibility. You say the fair partner introduced her to hard drugs? That's a huge deal breaker. Do you know exactly what kind of drugs they've been taking? If so, look up the effects of those drugs. Usually, that's what's been taking both of them down a slippery slope. You said a fair partner lost his job and has serious depression issues? Probably the adverse or reaction of those drugs. You say she stopped by to see how you were doing. Mother-in-law called telling you how soon-to-be ex-wife is crying a lot. Doesn't sound good. Please sign those divorce papers and make everything final before you do anything close to communicating with your ex. I wonder, has you spent or messed up the settlement money she got off the house? Sounds like karma is doing its job. In the meantime, you stay strong and stick to your goals and stay clean. Things will get better real soon. Remember, you're the better man in person, okay? Rubik's Eft says, your wife has no regrets. Selfish people never do. They merely blame others for their poor choices. As for her wanting to come by your place, she wanted to see if you had replaced her with another woman. Because you've been in no contest, she wanted to observe you up close to gauge whether or not you'll act as a safety net for her if she chooses to come back. And you are wise, you will decline other visits from your soon-to-be ex-wife. You have nothing to gain by these interactions. In many cases, such meetings only serve to delay and set back a betrayed spouse's efforts to heal and move on. Also, they serve as an opportunity for your cheating ex to attempt to manipulate you and gain information she hopes to use to manipulate you. Mourn the end of your marriage, but do it without the burden of further contact with your ex-wife. Let her go. Stop worrying and concerning yourself with what she's doing, who she's with, and what drugs she's taking. Obviously, she's off her rocker. There's nothing you can do, and you really shouldn't want to try to keep that sort of thing in your life. Move on. Don't even entertain the idea that you could get back with her in the future. That would be a waste of your time, especially when you've already come this far. Once these papers are signed, don't you dare look back. She deserves all the lonely nights. Let her cry herself to sleep. What do you make of all this? Do you have a similar story? Share your thoughts below. And thank you for joining us today in our space. Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. We'd hate for you to miss out. If you want to listen to more stories from me, check out our lounge, where I feature a larger variety of non-cheating related stories. See you there.